Didn't Whole Foods like cut their healthcare policy during the pandemic or something insane? Don't quote me on that, but I
haven't heard that.
Amazon
but
owns
I don't know.
Whole Foods.
Yes, they do.
And it was, but again, the point is, unfortunately, there's a lot about this movie that is just not really that much of an exaggeration at this point.
It's not an exaggeration at this point, but there are a lot of things. Well, so I like the exaggerations in this movie because I feel like it's more honest than just telling us straightforward.
What do you mean by that?
Like showing the world just as in the most realistic way possible doesn't really get like the feelings that people have towards the world. Like you kind of know what I mean? Like, I mean, you have a job that only pays you. I mean, when you worked at Amazon, didn't it feel like you were almost like at Worry Free? If they were showing Amazon almost completely,
I want to say yes, but I don't want anyone to say you're comparing something to slavery. So it's like, but,
or if you've ever had a job that's like labor intensive, you know, you feel like an animal, and they're talking about, you know, it's always we don't have enough money to pay you whatever. But they expect you to give, you know, your entire day, break your entire body. And when he's talking about human horse hybrids, when, you know, we get to the end of the movie, it's getting at how people actually feel about these companies.
Look, you know, I'm a musician, so musicians live a life of shitty jobs. It's just what it is. I mean, I've been fired. I was fired from a job in 2015 after I worked a 12-hour shift for a guy.
That's ridiculous.
He's a piece of shit.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's, you know, that's what you're dealing with when you're. It's so funny, and I think you posted something recently where it's like people in the entertainment industry during the pandemic. It's like someone will, in the same sentence, tell you, "Well, why don't you get a regular job because that's not sustainable?" And blah 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 blah. By the way, did you see that new Netflix show?
If anything,
it's so fucking true, man.
If anything, this pandemic has shown that we need artists more than anything, because how many podcasts and you know, how much new music and new TV shows and new movies have people been watching and listening to during this pandemic at the same time saying, well, if you're in the entertainment industry, maybe you should have picked something else.
It's one of the weirdest, like, most celebrated, but like people celebrate it without recognizing that they're celebrating it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, where it's like you couldn't fucking live without music or movies or, you know, podcasts now, radio, you know, when it was primarily radio. You can't live without entertainment, yet there's no protections that, you know, you're constantly talked down to.
Yeah.
You generally can't, I mean, what is it? 99.9% of people can't make a living in entertainment, or I don't know. It's got to be something fucking astronomically crazy like that.
Yeah.
It's just another kind of, I don't know. It just kind of sucks, but at the same time, it could be. People just need to start realizing that they are consuming these things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, and I was taking a while to get to a point there, but it's like there was a viral video from the town that we're from on Long Island, and this lady is complaining about not wearing a mask in the supermarket.
Right.
Okay, and she yells.
I remember this. It calls the guy a communist.
Well, she calls the lady a communist. I'm not going to put on your fucking mask with your commie bullshit. But then she also says, and that's why you're working in a fucking grocery store.
Yes, you're shopping in a
You're
in a
shopping in the grocery store, lady.
Yeah.
You need the grocery store, you fucking idiot.
Yes.
You need people to work in the fucking grocery store so you could get your... These people are fucking so stupid.
It reminds me of back to Arnie Hammer's Stephen Liff character when he's like, we still need the workers to work per se, but we need people like you who really can see the big picture. That scene when he's like describing how the human horse hybrids are going to work is amazing because like Stephen Lift is like, I understand you think that I'm crazy. I'm thinking I'm creating human horse hybrids, but I'm actually not because I'm doing it to make money. As if like that's an excuse of like, well, no, I'm doing it to make money, so I'm actually not crazy.
Well, there's a lot of shitheads who have that way of thinking. Like any small talk conversation that you've had that is some form of a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Like, there's a lot. Like, hey, man, you could fucking shoot yourself in the balls and light yourself on fire. There's a lot of money in that. Okay. I don't want to do it though.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying.
I don't. So I'm glad someone does. Get us back on track here, Greg.
All right. So where are we going? Well, I'll just finish up how the movie ends. Like, you know, he's coerced into taking this human horse hybrid serum.
Horrifying.
It's horrifying because they think they're just doing cocaine.
I know.
And then he was like, wait a minute, what did you give me? And he's freaking out. And it's like one of the scariest parts of the movie when he's trying to go to the bathroom and he accidentally like walks into this lab where the horse people are being made. And it is very like, you feel like it jumps into a different movie almost, where, you know, things are slowly getting more ridiculous and then it jumps it. And then suddenly, like, there's a horseman in front of you. And when I first saw it, I was, like, thinking about, like, that ending was so ridiculous. But, like, thinking back, like, it was also the perfect ending. It was also perfect that that's what it comes to. That it's slowly getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And in the end, it's like, oh, by the way, horse people.
Oh, by the way, horse people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
then he secretly becomes one, and they go to Armie Hammer's house, and they murder him. And that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, well, they don't show...
They don't show it, but it's assumed that that's what they're there to do.
Right, but then he's still a fucking horse.
Yes, and he's still a horse at the end.
And, I don't know, I just... That whole snorting, the cocaine scene was so... I find that to be so troubling. I mean, it's like... You know, with cocaine now, you know, people are dying of fentanyl overdoses. Yes. They're not really... Imagine that was the thing. Like, yo, man, shit, you got to be careful, man. Like, my boy out in fucking Comac, he got some bad shit, and the homie's a horse now. Like, that would be really unfortunate. Just like Suffolk County has a fucking outbreak of horse guys. Like,
oh, my God, that's so brutal.
Imagine it was that instead of fentanyl, and then, like... MS-13 was just like, yeah, man, we're on this horse shit right now.
Horses?
I don't fucking know, man.
Was a horse gang.
That shit fucking, it really fucked me up. So
yeah, let's talk about.
Shouldn't do cocaine anyway.
No,
but,
you shouldn't.
You can't now because fentanyl just.
Yeah.